coming out of the mid lane. So if that matchup goes really well for Bumblebees, then they'll be the ones pushing and taking an advantage. And if either mid or bot goes well for Toobased, then they're going to be taking that advantage.
What is the likelihood that, so generally speaking, we usually see, you know, rotations coming out, but when you have a Death Prophet in the mid lane and you've got a Dragon Knight on the other side, is it a situation where we're going to see people rotating to the mid lane instead of the mid laners rotating off to the safe lane of the enemy side, or?
Well, both can happen. It gives you options, which is always good in Dota, is being able to like choose depending on how both of the lanes are going. Like if you feel like, you know, if you feel like your DK is doing really well and you want to rotate there as monkeys, you can do that. If you're, you know, Rioya and you
30 seconds.
see that like Boris is left alone on the top lane, you can rotate there. It really depends on the opportunities. But I would favor always the team that has more options, which is Toobased with the two pushing heroes that they have. Although the problem is Pango's a really terrible laner. So that's a big disadvantage for Toobased, that Monkeys has been having really good lanes in this tournament, especially with Leshrac. But it's hard with the Pango. It's just not a good laner.
The battle begins.
I think he's going to have to be careful, just that he doesn't get out of position with the Leshrac, because I feel like 5-up really shines when he's allowed to have this capability to move about and put pressure, because, you know, that's something that you want to do, right? You have a Death Prophet in the mid lane. She doesn't have a really great escape. She's not particularly tanky other than, you know, having the Spirit Siphon. So I have a feeling he'd like to be a little bit aggressive. But again, Leshrac is on the squishier side, and you do have to be careful that you don't get rooted into place, and that Lifestealer doesn't just start charging at you. So,
all right, there's another thing. Like, okay, top lane. Oh, just a bit of grass.
Yeah.
They're just chunking away at him. Bottom lane, Monkeys Forever has a Blightstone on Lesh, which is quite cool. You don't see this very often. Maybe he'll build it into a medallion, but just a really interesting answer to the fact that Lifestealer is this magic immune carry. You eventually will pick up the Edict and do extra damage because it's physical damage against the Lifestealer. It's pretty cool.
Definitely thinking with portals here, as we do find a courier getting sniped.
Freebie for Moo. I mean, he's not, you know, it's not usually the 5 position that's sniping couriers.
Not usually. It's not usually an Oracle.
No. That's
it's usually,
like
you know, your Maranas or your Nyx Assassins.
Yeah. When a 5 is getting couriers, like, a mistake has been made.
Top lane, though, they seem to be putting out a decent amount of harass over onto Boris and Empyrean here. But they have also run out of regen over on Mr. King Owl as well. So they're dishing it right back at them. Nice bushwhack, though. Is Empyrean going to be our first blood? Nah, not quite enough damage. Boris also sitting quite low. Empyrean using his own. He used the salve on himself. He didn't use it on his. Boris.
I don't think that's the play. Like, greedy support player.
Boris is probably like, nah, man, I got it. We're good.
Nah, he's mad. He's malding.
He's malding right now.
But
Where's the
I shouldn't say
pings,
that
though?
with Boris. Boris is not malding. He's got a beautiful mane. He's, of course, not malding. But if he could mald, he would be malding right now.
Mm-hmm. What's the opposite? What is, like, a similar thing when you have hair?
Mowing.
I don't think that's it either.
That sounds like the same thing as malding, but it's not.
It's definitely not. But yeah, the harass is on here in this bottom lane. Moo is sitting a little bit low here in terms of mana now. Does have himself a mango if necessary. Constantly throwing out the swashbuckles to try to disarm and try to put a little damage out. How's the mid lane going here? I feel like there's not too much that Ryoya can really do to bully I Annihilate, but on the flip side of that...
DK wins every single lane. Anytime you like vote against this hero, you're just always wrong. That's what I've learned. It's like you think, oh, Death Prophet, you've got to do quite well against DK, right? You've got the Spirit Siphon. He's a tanky hero. Nope, DK wins every lane. That's the lesson.
He has the power of anime, you know, that's pretty important right there. They're using the power of anime against the eternal NBs. Like, they're really just trying to strike at his heart here.
That is the counter, and in a very anime fashion, they take the DK. Ooh, Boris.
Ooh, that is indeed a dead Gyrocop. Missing out though, he is going to just keep chasing after Imperium, even though that cold feet procced. Look at Z-Freak, he's got some of these body blocks here, but they just don't have enough damage. So
imagine being like a 1,500 or 15,000-year-old like ancient god, and you're getting blocked by a squirrel. Like, imagine that. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Just step on it. Squirrels are small.
He can't. He has no feet.
Well, then float over it. What's his excuse?
What are you gonna do? Floating over? You gonna just chill him to death? I mean, I guess that is his thing, but
you don't need to do anything. Squirrels are not a threat. I can tell you. All they do is walk around and bury nuts. That is their entire life. They're very
I don't know,
useless.
They can do an awful lot of damage if they're allowed to get into like cars and stuff and chew through wires, chew through walls and stuff as well, you know?
I have heard that. Just sneaking into people's garages and like eating their lawnmowers and things like that, eating the little wires, and your lawnmower doesn't work. Yeah,
Yep.
You're right. Okay, I'm convinced.
Squirrels truly are a menace.
They are really OP in real life. S-tier
like
animals.
birds.
Oh, I don't want to get started about birds. Do not start me.
Sorry, guys. I'm trying to bait Jenkins here on this. But yeah, it's a slow start right now. We've only got 1 kill on the board. I've been seeing a little bit of trading back and forth between the lanes, but nothing too crazy just yet.
Here we go again. Squirrel versus ancient
old
god.
Oh, the bushwhack, though. Z-Freak, giving him the plings, giving him the acorn shot. Has to be careful, though, because Boris is getting pretty angry that this little squirrel, this little vermin, is poking away at his god. So they're going to try to make him pay for this. He goes, he pops off one of the sticks, fairy charges, and then that's going to be a dead hoodwink, but not before he ties them all to a tree first. Bottom lane, 5 up. It's chasing after Moo. He wants this kill. We'll be able to find it. He's going to be able to survive, though, is the next question here. Eternal Envy, they're trying to break ankles. Nope, not going to be able to do it. Eternal Envy will find his prey.
I think dying there on Z-Freak doesn't matter so much because you have this free farming Mars in your offlane. You're pretty okay with that. On the other side, once again, trading Oracle for Pango is probably once again favoring Bumblebees there. So it's strange to see like a 2-for-1 like that happen and then it favoring the team that lost 2, but just given everything else that was happening on the map, it was good for them.
It's not the worst in terms of like you were saying. I'm interested though to keep my eyes over here on the mid lane. We do have the level 6 both online here for the Death Prophet and the Dragon Knight. And there is a dead Boris here in top lane.
That's the level advantage from Z-Freak making space. He gets 6 and Boris, you know, we're memeing about Empyrean not giving him the salve, but that results in that initial kill, which sets him behind, and then now he's level 5 to the level 6 of King RD, who gets the basically solo kill on him there. Like it all compounds in Dota. A small mistake like that, if you're playing against good opponents, they're going to take advantage of it and snowball.
Some pressure being placed over here on 5 up. Eternal Envy, though, wants to just focus on hitting these creeps. Surprised that Moo wasn't able to get that courier snipe, but it's his first game of Lifestealer on this patch, according to our statsman, Mr. Knoxville. And it's his 5th most played hero. Very interesting. 5 up, not quite landing that swashbuckle here. So, ooh, Moo. He's going to try to negate some of this damage, but they have the physical. And they'll be able to collect on the Oracle.
Reduced to your elements. Denied.
Oh, of course, Lifestealer. Of course, he's got the Javelin Rush, no boots on Eternal Envy. But, you know, this is a much more standard thing on Lifestealer. You're a high move speed hero. Oh, top lane.
Top lane, yeah, Empyrean. King Al going for a bit of a deep dive here against this poor ancient god. He just cannot catch a break. He's trying to buy a little bit more time, but eventually does fall to the god of war. So in God be God, Ash. Oh, Eternal Envy, though. Here it is. I was going to ask you about this earlier, Jenkins. We have, you know, these heroes that push towers very quickly with their level 6s. I wanted to know who was going to make the rotation, and it's clear that they very much want to prioritize putting pressure on Envy's lane. But as I say, this Boris is getting bullied out of his own jungle. Z-Freak planting a nice ward over on the side is able to keep tabs on him and will be able to just be a general nuisance.
It's looking like the first game all over again, where bumblebees have the kind of early advantage. Well, maybe not so much actually. Toobased just took the bottom tower.
Dire's structures are fortified.
With but the thing is, like, I don't think that you expect to be able to take that tower if you're Toobased, because the whole point of Lifestealer as a hero is that he gets to sit in the safe lane for a lot longer than other carries. But with two pushing heroes combined, as well as like the physical damage from the Edict, it's cool that Toobased is able to make the call and kill him there.
They go in for the Infest. I Annihilate, trying to buy just a bit more space here. So that is an arena that didn't end up doing a whole heck of a lot of anything.
Look at his regen. 26 regen on Dragon Knight. 1660 HP. How do you kill this guy?
That's the question that the Eternal Bumblebees are probably trying to figure out for themselves now. Perhaps changing their trajectories. They spot Boris here in the top lane. They put a lot of pressure on this. Oh, nice sidestep out of the way here. Just going to clean up the wave. But the pressure is now continuing, coming out from the side of Toobased. Got this Dragon Knight. He's going to have his dragon form up in about 8 seconds. And you have a Leshrac who's got a very low cooldown and is going to be able to also help burn through this tower. So there it is. There's the dragon form. And you can see the rotations are coming. Z-Freak looking to find an opening here along with Ryoya. He does not have the exorcism, so they get the stun over onto Ryoya. The follow-up now from 5-up is he has got that rolling thunder, and they're just going to try to stun lock Ryoya into place here, and it's looking pretty darn good. So that's going to be a dead death prophet. Z-Freak can't do a whole heck of a lot there. And they're just going to take the middle tower.
Denny with the 360s in the tower to BM. I love it. That's some solid BM right there. With how strong and how tanky Denny is on, this is, of course, I Annihilate. His name is Denny on the Dragon Knight.
I like how you've got the Canadian accent in there, too, when you say his name.
What are you talking about?
Denny?
Yeah, that's his name.
Danny?
Like the restaurant.
No, his name is not like the restaurant.
It is. He's never corrected me on it. But anyway, Denny's
Maybe
is
he's
so
too nice.
He's so he is nice. He's very nice, actually. He's very Canadian. He's so tanky. You need the Death Prophet ulti to fight. And Bumblebees, they don't want to lose the middle tower because, I mean, nobody wants to lose their middle lane tower. It opens up so much of the map. So they go to, like, casually defend it there. But because of Toobased having Monkeys having such a solid game, you can't casually defend that tower. You need the Death Prophet ultimate to fight, and that becomes immediately obvious, of course, after you get wiped there. And I think from now on, Bumblebees, they need to make a successful rotation off the back of the Death Prophet ultimate, because otherwise they don't have damage to kill these two-based heroes, other than maybe Boris, but I don't think killing Boris matters that much right now. You need to stop Monkeys, and you need to stop Denny from snowballing.
All right, well, they have a smoke coming out from the side of Toobased. They want to just flush them out of their jungle, reclaim some ground here. Monkey's leading that charge. And King Ah is still in the vicinity. Do they try to go in on this? How do they open, I guess, is the question. The spear's already been thrown. Look at Monkeys. Look at this. They jump forward immediately. They'll follow up with the Fury. They're going to try to get the Cold Feet into play. But the Rolling Thunder followed up with the Ice Blast. That is a dead Mars. A nice hit from the gank squad here on the side of Toobased.
That was beautiful. That was a work of goddamn art from Monkeys Forever. And this is something that Aoi mentioned, that he had actually coached this team. And one of the problems that he was kind of addressing with them was the fact that, and I mentioned it too in the previous cast, they know what to do. They know where to go, but the way that they do it is sometimes rushed. It's sometimes a little bit lazy, which is pretty typical in NA Dota fashion because it's just what we do in our pubs. And so watching Monkeys do a wraparound like that, you said it, like, how did they get the initiation on him? And they had to do something clever like that. It's so cool to witness a team improving so dramatically, like right in front of your eyes. They take the one thing that they were bad at, and you can clearly see these examples where they've improved. It's just amazing to see as a person. You know, we like to watch other people improve and get better at the things they suck at, and it's like, that was a work of art. What a nice rotation that was.
Yes, as a squirrel, I don't think I would appreciate that as much.
As a squirrel?
You just said as a human being, as a person.
Oh, I see, yeah. Squirrels are people too, Moxie.
No, they're not, Jenkins.
How dare you?
They are literally not humans. They are classified as a squirrel. But you know what's very exciting is the fact that Annihilate Danny, or Denny, as you like to call him, is going to be picking up this Blink Dagger, which is going to make things very, very scary for the side of the bumblebees here.
It's cool that he's building in somewhat of an off-lane DK style. He's just got all of these tanky items, rushing the Blink Dagger, rushing into the BKB, and he's allowing Monkeys 5-Ever to go for more of a mid-lane build. And I think with how Monkeys is snowballing and how strong Leshrac looks in this game in terms of the burst damage versus these Bumblebees heroes, letting Monkeys be more of the scaling hero does make a lot of sense.
I think it's something very strong. Look at the positioning of Mr. King Owl, though, here. On the low ground, doesn't realize. All right, there's the reveal of the blink, the follow-up. All right, immediately, though, they throw out the false promise. King Owl jumping over into the high ground. He's going to try to protect over on the side, but they end up losing Moo almost immediately. So they go, and they'll use that Exorcism. Annihilate, trying to do as much damage as he can. He has to be careful, though. The amount of damage coming out from this Death Prophet is actually a huge problem. He manages to sidestep the Sharpshooter. They already lose Mr. King Owl. He's separated from the side, but now Eternal Envy is going to hop a ride over here into Ryoya. The call down will come out. Slow them down just a little bit as they're trying to find the angle to re-engage. 5-Up not quite finding this Death Prophet. It's a beautiful bushwhack coming out from Z-Freak here. Envy popping back out. Ryoya should be safe at this point. Should be able to teleport out, but they managed to get the courier. Eternal Envy with the Rage TP is going to be absolutely fine as Z-Freak is forced to scurry away and the tree line.
So I know I said earlier that you don't really need to deal with Boris because Monkeys and Annihilate are snowballing, and so you need to deal with them first, but he has been getting enough space at this point that he's a big juicy boy now. He is top of net worth. He's got his full Aghanim Scepter.
There's a dead 5-Up. Continue.
A little bit of a freebie. You definitely take those if you're Bumblebees, especially when you're just pairing the supports together. I think you're pretty happy getting any random kill. It's not like there was any commitment for that, really. But yeah, Boris is becoming a problem. It's looking like another one of these Boris games where he's getting way too much space, and once again, he's on a hero that can 1v5 on Gyrocopter. Satanic, Rapier, Butterfly, perfect Sanjin Yasha builder. You do not give this guy freeform on a hero that can 1v5 with it. That is, we have seen what happens if you allow that to occur.
I wonder what the team's mentality is during things like this. Is it just like, Boris is like, don't worry, guys, don't worry, I'll carry. It's not a problem. But as you say that, Boris gets jumped here in the middle lane, so he's just immediately evaporated as some of the teleports are coming out. They want to protect this tower. You see 5-Ups, he's waiting, does have the Blink Dagger, does have the Rolling Thunder if they want to try to engage, but the Bumblebees are backing off now.
The mid lane is the biggest debate in Dota. You're some carry or mid laner where you're just farming kind of safely in the triangle or in your own jungle, taking stacks, taking camps, then it's like, oh, there's a mid wave pushing in. Let me go deal with this. But if you were to look at like the heat map of an average Dota game, you would see that the enemies are, there's almost always someone near the mid lane because it's just the average, it's the literal center of the map. So statistically speaking, there's going to be somebody there, and it's the shortest lane too. So there's always towers to TP to as well.
All right, well, looks like Z-Freak is going to have to scurry away as Annihilate's hunting. There's an Ice Blast coming in hot, but I don't think it's going to be able to quite connect. It's a little bit too slow here with the trajectory, so. It's like Z-Freak will live to fight another day, and he's going to get healed up by Moo in the meanwhile.
Space created. You're definitely happy with that. If you're little Z-Freak scurrying around. He's been just quietly farming as well. Another one of these situations where Z-Freak is kind of huge. He's got his Ether Lens, Tranquil Boots, Blightstone, some small casual items, but having a fully completed Ether Lens at this point is pretty important because he doesn't want to get in there and fight. If he runs into Bushwhack, he is going to feed to all of the area damage that Toobased has.
I have to say I'm really happy to see that Zach's back on a team because he did take a little bit of time off, I believe last summer. And to be able to see him, you know, doing well, being able to play Dota is a lot of fun. It was funny because I think I was talking with Kyle and he just said like at one point, he's like, man, my little brother's actually just so good at Dota. And we're all just like, yeah, he is. And it's good to see him back on a team again.
I think they have another little brother who's really good at Dota too.
They do. I think it's G-Freak.
And then they have another little brother who I think he's trying to play like Fortnite Pro or something. It's a whole family of pro gamers. And then Kyle.
He's playing Dota now. He's been streaming.
He has been quietly grinding. I think people were like criticizing him for his like, oh, Kyle doesn't play Dota or whatever. And he's the type of guy that as much as his personality is well, okay, actually, bot lane, monkeys.
I like how you just stop with that sentence.
Okay, no, I'm happy to continue, but monkeys does look like he's in a little bit of a precarious situation, just like I was, insulting Kyle live on air. Anyway, back to Kyle. Okay, as much as he's got a brash personality, people, you know, have their Reddit has their little problems with Kyle. I get it. Okay, he does quietly kind of do the things that he needs to do. He doesn't talk about playing Dota. He just does it, which I really respect that. You know, he's not going on Twitter and being like, look at me, I'm playing Dota, I'm gaining all this game knowledge or whatever. He's just doing it. He's just trying to hit some high MMR number. Anyway, Kyle's not in this game. Let's look at Z-Freak. What's he doing? He just TP'd out. Very nice. Right back down to the bot lane he goes. Very good.
Oh, that was quite the monologue. But look at those. Monkey Forever's biggest rivals. It's like MSS is on the top there. There's Ryoya in 55 games, a 54.6%.
Okay, come on. That's just Quincy Crew in Ryoya there. I'm not going to pretend that
King Owl, he's found Monkeys Forever. The teleports come out almost immediately. The Bushwhack, the Sharpshooter, that's a dead Leshreck. There is not going to be any sort of adventure here for him, as they have the Infest Bomb. They're going to pop back out. They're going to punish Imperium for being in their jungle.
I forgot Eternal Envy was in this game because he's just infested in people or farming for the whole game. But he's pretty huge. Level 15, he's got the Basher, Casual Sange, Maelstrom. He's doing quite a lot of damage at this point.
Yeah, I mean, like we said, he's just been quietly farming, doing his own thing. And right now, if you look at the net worth, the top three, you've got Envy sitting at the top, Boris sitting very close underneath, and then Ryoya. So things are looking pretty good here for the Bumblebees. But again, it is one of those games where you have a gyrocopter, and this is a guy who will happily build a rapier when push comes to shove. So we're gonna have to see, you know, what the Bumblebees can do, as they are smoked up and they're on the hunt. Going towards that triangle area, they've got Mr. Kingal. He's leading the charge. He has that Blink Dagger and the Arena, and he's gonna spot Boris. The rest of the team is close nearby. Boris, though, he needs some help. The Bushwhack, they should be able to take down the gyrocopter very easily as Ryoya popped the Exorcism. Now they'll probably put their attention towards this mid tower that Toobased has been trying very hard to keep alive. A couple acorn shots here coming out from Z-Freak. The tower goes down. And yeah, that's a very nice move coming out from the side of the Bumblebees. Invading the triangle, getting a kill on the core, and then even getting a tower to boot.
And I think with Boris being dead for 23 seconds, yeah, okay, Bumblebees, they're doing this strat of you just take one spawn of the enemy triangle and then you leave. And now when Boris respawns, he's got nothing to farm because they're going to retreat to the areas that the farm is left in, but that's, you know, on their side. Boris is obviously not going to be able to go over there. So this is just where you get the net worth lead from getting those kills. Like, the kills obviously give you a bit of net worth, but it's all about the camps that you steal afterwards that really give you the big advantages, as well as the towers, of course.
I like this. Moo has just completed himself a Blink Dagger, which means that his positioning is going to be so much better in terms of being able to get his spells off and being able to keep his cores alive.
Yeah, this has been a pretty common pickup for Oracle since probably about 4 or 5 months. It's been the pickup over Aetherlens. I think with Aetherlens having the range on it reduced, that's one element to it.
Jumping forward immediately, but King Owl is here, and the BKB is going to get popped as they go, and they drop the Ice Blast. And this fight is just completely split up as 5-up, running around, making chaos over on the back lines here. But it looks like they're going to back off. Monkeys Forever, though, trying to dish out some of this damage, trying to find this opening, but they've managed to take down 5-up, and with a nice hit coming out from Z-Freak, they're able to take down Monkeys. So Toobased on the back heels. Now they held onto the arena just for Annihilate. There's only so much that Imperium can really do. He's going to try to move around, get away from these trees, but there's just too much damage coming out from the bumblebees. So they hit fast and hard, and they're on their way towards Roshan.
This is looking rough. It's looking similar to the previous game. Once again, just like the previous game, you have Boris kind of quietly farming. He's not on top of network this time, but he is on one of these like typical 1v5 heroes. And then on the other side, you have Eternal Envy, who has a really good matchup versus the Gyrocopter. With the Rapier, previously, Gyro would be able to beat Lifestealer in the late game, but it doesn't give you that True Strike anymore. So Lifestealer having the evasion talent and a Heaven's Halberd, he needs an MKB and a Rapier if he wants to deal with Lifestealer. But he also needs a Satanic, he needs a Sanjin Yasha, he's going for a Daedalus. Like, where do you get the slots? Legitimately, Toobased, if they want to win this, they have to pick up Spider Legs. And I'm not joking when I say that. Like, I actually think that item is really important for a lot of these 1v1 carry matchups.
No, I would definitely agree with that because you need the extra slots. I mean, the nice thing about Gyrocopter at the very least is the fact that, you know, you can do the Aghanim's Blessing, which will be able to, you know, just not backpack it, but make space, an inventory slot, and then with Spider Legs too. But, you know, they are smoked up over on the side of Toobased. Smoke does pop over to Annihilate. He jumps up. He does see Ryoya here, so he'll get the stun off immediately. And the Gyrocopter is going to teleport in. 5 up, rolling through with the Rolling Thunder. Again, Annihilate drawing a lot of attention over to the side, but the Spites are totally split up his move over on the back end. Not going to be able to get any of these spells off as the hunt is on over after Z-Freak. They're trying to get their hands on the squirrely little devil here. And are they going to be able to find it? The Yule's coming in. Monkey's waiting patiently. Will be able to land the split. He's got the Sharpshooter lined up, but they're just going to sidestep. It's not going to make any difference. As now they're chasing after Ryoya. The Ice Blast does manage to go and connect. The hunt is on. He's trying. He's using that Spirit Siphon over here. BKB coming out from Ryoya now. They realize they're not going to be able to get their hands on him. They are going to back off. They ping out, though. There is an Eternal Envy over here. Annihilate waits patiently. It's the stun. Can they follow up? Can they hold him in place? There's nothing for him to invest into to do anything. Oh, that Ryoya making his way over here. Nice arena coming through. Will be able to pin 5 up over to the wall. Annihilate now stuck as well. He will fall to Ryoya, and the tips come out for King Ao. They were not expecting that arena.
Yeah, that was a nice double spear. I mean, as cool as the Mars Aghanim Shard is in concept, you really rarely see situations like that where you hit an effective double spear where like both heroes die. So it's great to finally see that actually have a huge amount of impact. King RD just waiting. It's like the last possible second to use the ult spear combo, being very patient, waiting out the BKBs, waiting out the Pango roll.
Oh, the jump forward misses the spear that time, but does manage to give Toobased a little fright as they'll back off just a little bit. To see Boris continuing to farm. He knows it's very important that he gets his gold, gets the items necessary. Top lane. See Monkey's here. Monkey's perhaps a little too greedy, my friend. Uses his BKB, is forced to just teleport away. But look at the damage. The physical damage that came out from that was just scary, considering.
That seems like a typical Monkeys Forever space creation, shove down a lane, and, you know, a lot of the time you'll see him juking before he gets out just to make as much space as possible, but with the BKB, he's still able to make a little bit of space there. I think that's probably what he intended, was just to force those TPs, force those spells to be cast on him. Not that it's particularly good for them. It's not like they committed a lot on the side of Bumblebees, but definitely intended by Monkeys.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that. It is a 6-second BKB at this point, so I guess he feels that he can just spam it. Or not necessarily spam, but, you know, use it in that manner, generally speaking. You want to be using it on the aggressive, but...
BKB is such an OP item now. A lot of people, every time BKB gets changed, people are like, oh, it's a nerf, but it just never seems to be a nerf. The item always
look
seems
at
to get
Monkey's
better.
doing Monkey's thing again. He's got to be careful. Does not have the BKB this time around, so he will fall.
Mid lane again, Moxie. It's just the worst place to die, too, because if you die there, you're not making any space. We were just talking up like how much space Monkeys makes typically. Like it's just play style. It's what he does. But you die in the mid lane, and it's right in front of your base. It means the enemy team can take your triangle. They can take your your towers, maybe. They can go kill Boris in the bot lane.
They definitely want Boris. You saw the way King Out, he pinged it, he ran after him. He's gonna have to BKB, teleport away here as 5-up is most likely going to be the sacrifice to allow him, but he does have roll up available here, so he's gonna try to bounce around a little bit longer, but eventually they'll still be able to get the kill.
You've got to be really careful with these BKB TPs because Envy has Basher, so as much as it's been kind of successful for Toobased in terms of surviving, maybe not successful in terms of what they're getting from it, but if Envy's there, infested in somebody, he can just bash you. So these are a little ballsy, to say the least, after he gets that Basher.
I love the way that Z-Freak is just positioning himself here. I love the way that he's constantly scouting, whether it's with the Smarana or it's with the Hoodwink. It's always just thinking 2 steps ahead here, and I think that's very important. But the mid tower is going to go down, and the bees are invading the jungle. They're looking to see if there's anything that's they can snap up.
Just like you mentioned, look, Z-Freak, he's setting up.
He's got that vision. Ryoya looking for the opening. Not going to be able to quite get their hands over on Denny, as you call him, this time around.
Ah, there he
Sounds
is.
almost
Monkeys.
Irish.
You know what monkeys love? Trees. They love being in the trees, just like Irish people like Denny love beer, and I could say that because I'm Irish. Oh, maybe they don't love that sort of tree.
Monkeys. Yeah, not that kind of tree. Look at Z-Freak. He's trying to line up the shot. He's not going to be able to. Monkeys. He's got to use that BKB, and he's got to get out of there. He's not choosing to go and teleport out, though. He's just trying to buy a little bit more time. Lands a stomp off. The infest pops out, and down he goes. But that's a lot of space that he's made, and hopefully Boris is able to do something with it, because I think we've been seeing a lot of dead monkeys forever all over this map.
Yeah, it's you know, it's space, and but the question is always, what is the space for? I suppose Boris is top of net worth, but following that, you have Ryoya, who's huge, who's just been kind of chilling and farming. Envy, who's huge, who just got involved with that, which is why Monkeys couldn't TP out because of the Basher. Even King RD is quite farmed. He's more farmed than the middle lane Dragon Knight, who got off to a very good start. So 3 cores versus 1. Boris can 1v5 if he is top of net worth, but I don't know if there are 3 heroes that are quite close to him in net worth. I'm not sure if that's a dynamic he's really comfortable with.
I don't know. It seems pretty difficult, as the Exorcism is going to get committed here. Swashbuckle coming out. Gyro joining into the fight. Got the Yules, the setup. Nice play here from King Ao. Going to immediately be able to spear over several. Annihilate, jumping forward. They've got the Rolling Thunder. Ryoya forced to pop the BKB, as is Mr. King Ao. 5-up, trying to just create chaos over on the back lines. Boris trying to get out some of this damage too, but it's pretty difficult. They can't seem to find this opening, although they're going to try to throw out the missile over onto Eternal Envy. The jump forward here from Annihilate. They're trying to just stun him into place. Can they take him out in time? No, 5-up. He is going to go down. They use that false promises. They take down Boris. They take down Empyrean. And they'll take down the Leshrac. King Ao just jumping forward with these perfect arenas. This is why this guy is so dangerous on this hero. He has played so much Mars, and he's very good with his positioning and timing.
I like that Envy also just didn't press Rage. The rocket was coming in, and he almost got chain stunned to death there. And it looked really stupid, but then you realize that he's relying entirely on move to get off the false promise, so that way he can use the Rage to, like, re-engage afterwards. It was a bait. And the bait actually worked. Toobased thought that they could commit there because Envy got, like, quote-unquote caught out doing Envy things. And that's like the biggest bait in the world, is when you see Envy get stunned when he shouldn't. But then it's like, oh, get him. He's, like, doing one of his 50-50 things. But then really it was just a bait because Mu was there with the Oracle.
It's trust. I mean, that's so important with these teams, is being able to, you know that Mu is going to be in the right position so he can, get that save off. And also knowing that Envy is going to be greedy and not going to hit that rage button. So you better be on point. Ice Blast does connect on several here, but this Roach is going down too fast. They're not going to be able to challenge it.
I would agree with you, Moxie. Whenever you get Eternal Envy on your roster as a team, you definitely trust him fully. No fishy business going on.
I mean, I feel like you know that you're picking up a wild card if you pick up Envy on your team.
Oh,
You just have to come to
absolutely.
terms, embrace the chaos. If any man embodies NA Dota, it would be Eternal Envy.
Here's the question. Is it this team picking up Envy, or is it Envy picking up this team? That's the real question here, because he is the anime protagonist, unless you go by, Kyle's narrative. He is the anime protagonist, and so really it's just Envy kind of getting a new cast of characters for another season.
I see. Well, I mean, the team is named after him, although I don't think that was his choice in the matter. And
Yeah,
Vizo,
something about it tells me it probably wasn't his choice as well.
I love their banners. Their banners in particular are a delight.
Yeah, there was a lot of work put into those banners. Definitely, somebody definitely opened up paint. In my expert opinion,
Hey, it's a good job.
I think that's a Photoshop. Photoshop.
Go on. Go on, Jenkins.
I am losing it, Moxie. I'm losing it here.
I don't think you ever had it there, friend.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
All
Nice
right,
lane
that's
ward here. From Toobased. I don't know how much it's going to matter.
They were trying to make a play earlier. They were smoked up. They were hiding in the trees. They're hoping that somebody would make their appearance and they could get the jump on them. But the bees are playing too tight over to the side there and never actually walked into that area. So this tower going down. King Al is going to get the final hit. And it begins. Look at this. Again, 5 up. Getting found here by Z-Freak. He's just obliterated immediately as King Al jumping forward. Gonna just bypass all these split earths and whatnot. Exorcism coming out now from Ryoya. They do have the BKB and Annihilate jumping onto the back lines. They want to get rid of Mu as fast as possible, but he has an Aeon disc, so it's gonna make things very, very tricky as Monkey's dancing around in circles. He's got that BKB. He's trying whatever he can, but eventually he just falls and they don't manage to get their kill that they want here. Eternal Envy, though, he's taking a decent amount of damage. Imperium's going to fall. It's going to be the Aegis getting reclaimed here, or rather falling as Annihilate falls. Boris falls as well. To all of these goes coming out from Ryoya. They end up calling the GG. It is as you proclaim, Jenkins. You're going to be going to game 3.
Yeah, it's just when Gaben emails you, I think it's in your best interest